Hi, I'm Jesse from the BracketPal team, and today I'm going to be demonstrating interleaving pools on an irregular number of courts. Um, as an example, the typical tournament, you will have one pool per court. But sometimes if you have a smaller venue or a lot of teams in a situation that you might not have the courts necessary to facilitate one pool per court, this will allow you to do stuff like, say, interleaving 4 pools of 4 onto 3 courts, or 5 pools, or even an unusual number. Maybe you've got 3 pools of 4 and 1 pool of 5, and you want to put that on 3 courts, but you don't want the pool of 5 to drag out way past the pools of 4. So I'm going to demonstrate a handful of options on doing that. So we're going to start right now. We've got a tournament all set up here with one division that has 24 teams. We're going to create our first pool group, and I'm not even going to put in a start time or minutes per match or assign any courts. We're just gonna start it straight out of the gates here with the default settings, nothing assigned to it. And at this point, we're going to interleave. So we've got 6 pools. Um, the most obvious example, or the most straightforward example, is let's say our facility has 5 courts. So the very easy solution is to interleave those those 6 pools. So you could check the box for all 6, or you can just check the box at the top, and that'll select all. And then we're going to put those on our 5 courts. And in order for the interleave to work, you must specify a start time and a minutes per match. So we're going to say we're going to start at 8, and we're going to go 30 minutes a match. And we're going to complete the interleave. So now you can see each pool is kind of bouncing around from one court to another. And if we check the court grid, we can kind of get an idea of what's going on here. Individual pools and playoffs. So you can highlight the individual pool is being moved from one court to another court to another court. And they're kind of bouncing around. And the point of it is that at the bottom here, there's only one match that's off, and all the others are evenly spaced. So everything will basically wrap up at about the same time, which is great. It's exactly what we're going for. Now, we're going to go ahead and de-interleave this. So I click de-interleave pools, and I check the box here. We're going to de-interleave all of them. And that will restore our pools to our original settings. Maybe we have 4 courts available to us, and we want to pick and choose specifically which pools are going to interleave where. So maybe, let's say we want to put the first 3 pools on courts 1 and 2, and the next 3 pools on courts 3 and 4. So if we go interleave pools, then we're going to check the box next to pools 1, 2, and 3. Again, put in our start time and our minutes per match. And we're going to specify courts 1 and 2. Now you can see that these matches are lined up accordingly, and the start time is also labeled accordingly, that the first match on Saturday is set to 9:30. If we look at the court grid, we can see that these matches kind of bounce between each other on that same court, or on those 2 courts. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to interleave now pools 4, 5, and 6. Notice that the first options are unavailable to us. You can't interleave the same pools multiple times. That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to interleave pools 4, 5, and 6, starting at 9 o'clock, 30 minutes a match, and we're going to put them on courts 3 and 4. And now we can have a look at the court grid, and we can see our pools are evenly interleaved. They're all kind of bouncing back and forth, and everybody has a pleasant experience, and everything ends at all the rounds. The final rounds all start at 1 o'clock. Awesome. So let's de-interleave all of these again. And the last one worth showing is probably interleaving unusual numbers. So we're going to kind of mix this up a little bit. I'm going to get rid of one of these teams. We're going to delete this pool, delete the pool group, and we're going to just delete one of these teams here. We're going to delete a couple of teams. We're going to end with So we had a handful of drops. We're going to end with 21 teams, which isn't a great number because we're going to end up with a pool of 5. So in this situation, we've got 4 pools of 4 and 1 pool of 5. So we're going to create our pool group. So here we've got our 5 pools, and we have 1 pool is a pool of 5. And we're going to say in our particular venue that we only have 3 courts available to us. So we're going to interleave these 5 relatively irregular pools onto 3 courts and make sure that everything kind of evens out. So we're going to interleave all the pools on courts 1, 2, and 3. We're going to click Complete Interleave. And now if we have a look at the court schedule, the court grid, you'll see we've got an even distribution. All the matches end up at about the same time, and it all kinds of just works out, even though we've got a weird mix of pools of 4 and 5, and yet we don't have a single 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We don't have one court that's dedicated to a single, we don't have one court that's dedicated to a single pool. So that is interleaving and de-interleaving pools on irregular numbers of courts. If you find that interesting, please check us out at BracketPal.com or look at all the great Sports Engine products. Thanks. Bye.